I want to paint a picture for you on this topic, and it is a scary one in Chicago. 4:30 in the afternoon. Imagine a Saturday in Chicago. A 49-year-old man is on a CTA train. 4 men are accused of beating him and robbing him. Police say he was so badly beaten that he lost consciousness. Thankfully, that man survived the attack. Those 4 men, police say are responsible, were arrested about 45 minutes later. We then learned they are Venezuelan migrants. They are staying in area shelters in Chicago. The men faced a judge this week. The state's attorney says the robbery was organized. It was premeditated. 3 of the 4 men are behind bars. They could face deportation. I want you to take a look at where many of the migrants that are crossing the southern border are ending up in the U.S. According to Bloomberg, you can see Miami is a hotspot. Chicago and New York, all hotspots seeing the highest number of illegal migrants. Illinois has seen an 821% increase from 2021 to 2023. In addition to that Chicago attack, we have the death of Laken Riley. She's a nursing student in Georgia who was brutally murdered while out on a run. It has put concerns about violence and illegal migrants into focus across the country. The man charged in her murder was illegally in the U.S., also suspected to have gang ties to Venezuela. And then there was that attack in New York. 2 police officers beaten by a group of migrants in the subway. That entire encounter caught on camera. 6 of those men are facing charges. All of this has a lot of people wondering, maybe you as well, about your own safety, how cities big and small are meeting the challenges that come with the influx of migrants. The burden on resources, where to house these people who end up in these communities looking for a better life, and the threat of violence, because that is real. Joining me now with more insight in Chicago is Alderman and congressional candidate Raymond Lopez. Thank you for being with us. This is an important topic for not just Chicago, but for cities across the country. Let's start with this case. This guy attacked Saturday afternoon on the train on the CTA in Chicago. Broad daylight. I would imagine there are a lot of people around. What's the latest with this case, these 4 men who have been accused and charged in court this week?
Well, good morning, Marni. Unfortunately, this is a repeat situation throughout the city of Chicago where we've seen these organized junior gangs of the Venezuelan migrant asylum seekers targeting people out of desperation or from their lack of resources or from just their past lives in Venezuela. And the city of Chicago seems to be totally unprepared to address this and unwilling to arrest anyone because of our welcoming city laws that says that we're not going to do anything to these individuals who commit such violent crimes as this. And I think as we see more and more of these videos, not just in Chicago and New York and elsewhere, the onus has to be on the federal government, on Joe Biden and Secretary Mayorkas, who allowed these individuals to come in here completely unvetted, based on whatever they were willing to tell us at the time, and allow them to roam free throughout our country. Not everyone that's come here is looking for a better life. Some individuals are just here to exploit the situation, and it's putting Americans at risk. This is one of the greatest national security threats we've seen in a long time, because 8 million people have come through this porous border, manipulating our asylum laws with the help of the administration, and both Democrats and Republicans alike in Congress are turning a blind eye, saying, well, we'll deal with it after the election. They are paid to be there now. They are paid to act now and address this now. And every American has the right to be outraged that they're punting yet again on this so important issue.
Let's talk about the criminal component of this, because there is one in the Chicago case, certainly in the Athens, Georgia case and the death of Laken Riley. Whose job is it to oversee who these people are, not just where they came from, but their criminal past? Who's keeping tabs on that, if at all?
I don't think anyone's keeping tabs on that, to be perfectly honest with you, because the Department of Homeland Security is the one that's processing them at the border. They are the ones who are asking them, what's your name, what's your history? And they're not really doing a solid job vetting them, other than taking them at their word. And in many cases, we've seen where both the federal and the local governments are not willing to stand up and work with immigration and immigration services to remove these individuals when they commit such heinous acts. In the city of Chicago, we know we have 3 of those most dangerous Venezuelan gangs here in the city of Chicago. We know that many of the young men who are here alone were military trained, and yet they are allowed to run loose throughout our city without any kind of structure that helps keep our residents safe.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.